you're well. Welcome to the new year. We're almost at the end of the 12 days of Christmas, the season of Christmas, which officially concludes on the 6th of January, the day when trees and decorations come down. And for some tradition, that's when they give their gifts, I think more the Orthodox tradition. Because that's the story or the day when we tell the story, remember the story portrayed in that hymn, We Three Kings of Orient Are. It's about what's generally known as the wise men, the three wise men coming from the east. In fact, we don't know there were three, and they're not really called wise men, they're magi, sorcerers, magicians, astrologers from afar. They come to seek the newborn king, this deity born to the Jewish people. It's a funny story. We try and harmonise it with Luke's version, but this is Matthew's story, and it's separate. Even though in most nativity scenes you get Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the manger, the cattle stall, the shepherds, and the wise men together, they never appear at the same time. In fact, this story's setting is maybe up to 2 years after Jesus' birth. He's a young child in a house. The story, though, is even more profound and disconcerting, I think, to religious people. Because the most Jewish of writers, Matthew, speaking to the most Jewish of audiences, actually has pagan astrologers, magicians, sorcerers as the ones who seek out the Christ child and find him. It's not the religious leaders, the religious people, the people who study scriptures that find him. In fact, they're oblivious. These men using their stars and whatever tools they have, who are passionately seeking and searching, find God. They follow their stars, their signs, and it leads them to Jerusalem, where they expect the king to be born. And when they ask the king there, King Herod, who's king under Rome, he has no idea, and asks his religious leaders, the Jewish scholars. And they say, well, the Messiah is to be born, the tradition, the prophecies say in Bethlehem, but we're the ones who know the scriptures, and, well, it hasn't happened yet, or we know about it. But in fact, they're oblivious. They're too busy defining their own understandings of law and of God and of what's right and being in control and maintaining power and all the rest of it to actually experience God's presence. And these astrologers find their way to this newborn king, this deity, this God presence. And they pay homage and you bring gifts and worship. And then in a dream, God says to them to return to their homeland by another route. It's too dangerous for the child. And they hear the voice of God in a dream and recognize it and follow. Matthew will go on to say, those who seek will find. Those who knock, the door will be opened. Those who are passionately seeking for that deeper reality, deeper truth that we call God, that deep love at the heart of all things, will find if they passionately, actively search. But not necessarily those who understand the scriptures, who read them diligently, who are religious in every way. They're not necessarily the ones. Some will. But it's about those who have a heart and a passion to seek God, humbly and vulnerably, and to recognise their need of God, their deepest desire. They will find. And that's what Jesus proclaims in his life. That's what we're invited into. So I invite you to passionately seek God. In the midst of fear and sadness and pain and loneliness and the difficulty and struggles of this year that's been in COVID-19 world, And despite whatever the future looks like for you, seek your hope in God. Seek God with all your being. God says you'll find what you're looking for. Knock and the door will be opened. May this year be one where you seek and find, using whatever tools you have, whatever you know, whatever you can do, and to trust that the God who loves us deeply is with you.